Today we're going to be covering PDFs. That will include what they are, how to view a PDF, when you'd want to use one, some basic manipulation functions, as well as how to make a fillable form. Those manipulation functions include rearranging pages or adding other documents to a PDF, sending a full page newsletter, adding a comment, or adding hyperlinks into your PDFs. So let's get started. A quick question that I've received quite often is, what is a PDF? PDF actually stands for Portable Document Format, and it's invented to share documents in a universal way. That way, people who didn't have, say, Microsoft Word could open and view a file that was created in Word. It's very easy to share a PDF document. However, it's not very easy to edit a PDF document, which is one of the drawbacks of the system. So now it's one of the most commonly used file sharing formats. In addition, there are a few different ways you can open and view a PDF. Adobe has several different types of software, including but not limited to Photoshop, Photo Viewer, Editor, and Reader, which are the most common. Nowadays, you can also open a PDF to view it in your web browser as well. That would be Firefox or Microsoft Edge or Google Chrome, anything really nowadays can open a PDF. As you can see here from my open with, I have Adobe Reader, Adobe Acrobat, and Firefox as well, which I could use to open the PDFs. Here at Cornerstone, we use Adobe Pro, which is the pro version of the software. It costs $14.99 a month, which equates to about $180 per year, but it's very useful. They have other versions such as the standard and the basic. The basic one is free. However, the Acrobat standard is $12.99. You can use it to view documents, but you cannot use it to edit documents, compare multiple PDFs, modify PDFs, or create a fillable form, which we'll be covering shortly. In addition, a good question that I get quite often is, what's the difference between Word and PDF? Like I said before, PDFs are more for file sharing. As you can see in this Word document, which is actually our write-up for sharing people their AGB login. You can type and freely edit things, you can delete lines, and you can do pretty much anything you'd expect of a Word editor. Unfortunately, a lot of these things do not transfer over into PDF files. If I were to open up our finalized version, which is this instructions example PDF filled, it will open the PDF file and it'll look a little something like this. As you can see, it's a lot more stylized. You can edit documents before you turn them into PDFs and make it look a little bit nicer like this, but I can't actually delete what's written on the PDF. There are a few things you can do. You can add documents or little areas for people to edit the document. I could add a username and a password because there are fields there that allow those things. However, I couldn't really add anything more to it if I wanted. The way that I think of PDFs is I think of them as a picture of a document rather than the document itself. These are much easier to share, but like I said, not very easy to edit. You can convert pretty much anything into PDF nowadays, though, which is very useful for sharing. You can convert almost any sort of Microsoft file. Microsoft Word is a good one that's very easy to convert. Another one is Microsoft Excel or PowerPoint files as well. It'll turn all of those PowerPoint slides into individual pages to share. A good idea of when to use a PDF is if you're trying to make a document a finalized version to share where you don't really want anyone editing anything on the page. That's my rule of thumb for when I would use one. To convert a file into PDF, most Word or other Microsoft files have this Save as Adobe PDF option here under File. Another way is you could click Save As, and then from this drop-down, simply select PDF, and it will save it as a PDF. If we click Save there, it'll take a second, but it will put your file into a PDF format. And as I said, I can no longer really delete things from that. I can mark them, but I can't actually delete them. So I'm going to close out of that really quickly. And now we're going to get into some of the basic manipulation that I could do of one of these files. In order to do that, I'm going to open up our PDF form that I had earlier, this instructions example filled. And I'm going to start with how to add in a few different pages into your PDF files. This is really useful if you're trying to edit documents separately and then just sort of combine them all into one file to send. As you can see from here, there is only one document on this page. In order to add another document in from a different file, I would click on this drop-down tab here under the page thumbnail on this side of the screen and select Insert Pages from File. If you also have a document copied, you could choose from Clipboard, but we're going to grab from File this Instructions for Online Commission, and that's the PDF that we created before from our Word document. After that, it'll give you one of these little pop-ups that'll say Insert Pages. It's important you select the correct option when you insert your page, otherwise it'll insert a little bit out of order, and you'll have to do a lot of things to get it looking a little bit more correct. You get to choose after or before your reference page. We're going to select after in this case, and you can choose after the first page or before the first page, before or after the last page of the document, which refers specifically just to the last page, or you can choose a custom page if you have multiple, like if there's a document that's 30 pages long and you wanted to insert a document in the middle just after page 15. You could select after and then page 15. But we're going to add this after our last page in our document. And as you can see right here, our statement has popped up. If I wanted to actually have this above, I could have added it before the first page, or I can just drag and drop pages to easily rearrange. Another thing that we can do is actually make sure we can add comments. Comments are very useful if you're having someone type up the document for you, because then you can communicate exactly what you wish to edit. In order to do that, you would go over here to this comment tab and select the sticky note option. We're going to tell them to get rid of this space here in username. Not that it's actually the correct thing to do, but it's just a good way that we can communicate. If I click after selecting that sticky note tool, it'll open up this dialog box, and I can type whatever I want to comment, like, please delete space. And then if I wanted to close that out, I could minimize. As you see right here, it leaves that little note, and if you hover over it, it'll display the comment. You can double click and it'll open up the note again. And if you wanted to get rid of all those marks on the page, you would go to this drop down here under comment list and select hide all comments. You can also just show them all again by clicking show. Another thing people like to do in PDFs is send them as emails. It's very useful to share a document file once it's been fully converted. Really quickly, I'm going to delete that page, get rid of our comment. I did that just by clicking on it and hitting delete on my keyboard. I'm going to save it as I want to send it, and then close the document. If I open up a new email, then I can actually go ahead and send it to myself, and I'll send that full PDF that's fully created that we just were in. I can actually attach it as a full attachment, just like I could any other file. I would go into the save file for it, which is on my Tech Tuesday folder. And then I would just click it and select Insert. And that would add it as an attachment. But with PDFs, there's something else you can do. If you subscribe to our Monday Minute, you'll see that we actually send a full page Monday Minute, and it looks very professional. And the way we do that is actually by centering all of the text on our page, going into the Insert, and then we select Object. That'll pop up this Object menu. And as you can see, we have Adobe Acrobat Document as an option. If I then click OK and select our filled form, then I can open it, and it will open up this gray box here and the form itself. You can't actually edit things in here and have it change on the email version, which is a little bit of a drawback. It might sometimes, but it's kind of finicky. So I'm just going to hit exit. Make sure if you're going to actually insert a PDF into an email, you want to make sure it's the finalized version of what you want to send. But as you can see, it takes up a full page here. I can still type below it. I have my signature on the bottom, and I can just share the form that way. I'm not going to save the changes in this email because I'm not actually going to send it to myself. But you can still keep it as a draft, treat it like a normal email, and do anything else you normally would. In addition, you can also actually add links into your PDFs. I'm going to use my example PDF here with nothing filled in, and I'm going to show you how we added the link here for Cornerstone. If I go into my Tools option from this dropdown and select Link, then I get the Link tool. The Link tool is very useful because you can insert links exactly where you want them on top of your document. If I highlight CRN Stone here, it's because I want when people click over that to link them to Cornerstone. We're going to have a underline style, and we're going to have an invisible rectangle over that, so people can't actually see that the link's there, but when they click there, it will open the link. We're going to select Open a Web Page because we're going to open up Cornerstone's web page for that, but you could also link to a file on your PC, or you could go to View a Page, or add a custom link of your choice. Once you select Open a Web Page, you would click Next, and then insert the URL. I'm going to use the Cornerstone website. And as you can see, we have a little box here. We can change the dimensions on that, make it a little bit easier to click on. We could also actually edit it again just by double-clicking on the box while in this tab. And we've still got all those options selected. You can also go into some additional options as well. Here's where you would change things around if you were going to actually link to a document on your PC. Once you add in a link, it's important to know that until you save, the link won't actually activate. So now that we've saved, if I double-click there, I still get the link properties. That's because you have to fully close out of the document once you save it and open it back up again in order to get the link to trigger to check. I'm also going to actually lock that so we can't edit it any further. But now, if I open it up again and click here, then in my Firefox browser, I get the link, and I'm linked straight to Cornerstone. Another thing people like to do at this point is add little forms that people can edit. As you saw before in the full version of this document, I had a text box here that I could type in usernames and passwords. In order to do that, you want to go into Tools, Forms, and then Create. This is an option that you will not get if you're using the basic Adobe format. This is only available in Pro. But I'm going to click Create, use the current document, I could also import a file from my system at this point if I so chose, but since we're already in our document, I'm not going to select that. It gives you this pop-up here That's because I have no other form fields that are on this document already. If you already had a fillable form and then you tried to create a new one, it would tell you if there were field annotations detected and give you some additional options. Now that we're in the form creation wizard, as I like to call it, you can choose from all these different things to do to the page. If you click on New Field, we have several different options that we could add in. We've got a text field, which is what we're going to add. You can add check boxes, radio buttons, lists, drop downs, an OK, a digital signature area, or a barcode to the document as well. We're going to add a text field. It's sort of similar to when we were creating our link. I'm going to click on the upper left-hand corner of where I want the box to be, stretch it out, and then let go. This creates the text box, and I can name it whatever I want. I'm going to name mine username. And then if I wanted to, I could click off of the box, or I could click required field. What this means is that people cannot actually submit the form until they fill out that required field. So I'm going to click off of it, and as you see, it's highlighted in red because I selected that option to make it required. A non-required option, if I add one right here for password, will look different. As you can see, it's in black right there. So now I'm going to save and exit out by clicking the Close Form Editing. And now I can type on the PDF in the fillable form area. At this point, you might be wondering how you'd convert something out of PDF once you get it finalized, and that's a little bit trickier. Like I said, PDFs are really great for sharing documents, but not for editing. And a lot of people would want to take it out of that PDF format in order to edit. Unfortunately, it's very tricky. Cornerstone actually does use a specific software. It's called Able to Extract, and the link will be on the PDF of this presentation, or the PowerPoint rather of this presentation, that will be uploaded on Friday to our broker-centric. Unfortunately, I do not have that link, but I can enter it in the chat options if you would like it. The finalized version of this is pretty pricey. I believe it's about $150 for the full version. But you can also do a month-by-month option, which is a little cheaper. It's about 30 bucks. I know PDF through Adobe actually does have another software as well that it uses to convert things out of PDF. But if you choose the Able to Extract option, the actual presentation that I'm going to upload will have a link to it as well as instructions on how you'd convert out of PDF to edit. That would be into Word or Excel or whatever type of file you'd like. If there are any questions, comments, or concerns, I'd be happy to address them at this time. And on Friday, we will actually have this all uploaded onto BrokerCentric along with that PowerPoint like I was mentioning. If you have any other questions also that you don't want to put up in the chat, feel free to email me directly. My address is tlevine@crnstone.com. And I'd be happy to answer any further questions you have about PowerPoint. There's not anything else. I'm happy to end the presentation. Have a wonderful day, and thanks for attending.